Welcome everyone to the 15th round of the 2014 GP4 Offline Championship. We're here for the Japanese Grand Prix at the infamous Suzuka circuit. It's the 7th time that the race has been hosted here. It's the only track on the calendar which crosses over itself. 5 drivers have won the race and set the fastest lap. And of course, and an interesting fact, the winners of the 2 Fuji races, 2007 and 2008, are both neither on the grid, although Felix Sontag is technically on the grid as a test driver, but you know what I mean. But no active driver at the moment has won at this track 2 times. So this could be a very interesting race. 53 laps, the circuit length 5.807 kilometers, 18 corners, lap record set by Joseph Willows back in 2006 on 28.650. So personal for it, but one of the best tracks on the calendar. There's pretty much no doubt about that. The tyres we'll be using for this race will be the medium tyres. And the driver of the day was given to Armand Carr with the race rating a 9.5 out of 10 after what was a quite astonishing race. And no surprise, Carr, who only just missed out on the win. But anyway, here is the grid for the Japanese Grand Prix, and it once again is another Mercedes 1-2 with Waze Kuba on pole position with Jamie McKenzie in second. 3rd place is Roman Quark for Williams. 4th place, a good qualifying by Florian Volker for Ferrari. 5th place is Nicolas Gal, followed by Will Neller in 6th. 7th place is Robert Ionescu, followed by Michael Motra, good qualifying by him in 8th position. 9th is Joseph Willows. 10th is Vedran Vidrina. 11th is Alex Southgate. And with Oliver Glazebrook 12th, I should say. On the 7th row of the grid, we have Kirosa De Rosa for Lotus and Roberto Gamba for Marussia. 15th place, David Greenwood for Lotus. 16th place, Robert Hunter for Toro Rosso. 17th place, Rick Yan for Sauber. 18th place, Armand Carr. 19th place is Franco Gamba. 20th place, Julius Anderson. 21st place is Cameron Anderson. And in 22nd place, last on the grid, is Franco Lopez. So that is the grid for the Japanese Grand Prix, and now we are set to see what the team news are going to be for this race. So Franco Lopez will leave Marussia at the end of the season and will join McLaren. Meanwhile, David Greenwood will remain at Lotus for the rest of the season, or remain at Lotus for next season, I should say, in 2015. So there we go. Neither are too surprising, to be honest, but hey ho. Anyway, so the track. The conditions for the race: the track will be dry, be a sunny race, and a 0% chance of rain. So there we go. We're now on the grid for the Japanese Grand Prix, 15th round of the season. The 5 lights are now coming on, and we are underway here at Suzuka. And who is going to get the jump into the first corner? Is it going to be Kuba? Is it going to be McKenzie? And it looks like Kuba has got the best start and is going to keep the lead. And it's just about side by side between Quag and McKenzie for second place. Is Quag going to get second coming round into turn 1? And yes, he does. He makes it into second place. Good start there by the Frenchman, excuse me. But 3rd is McKenzie. As they come around the edges, is there going to be any contact? 4th is Gal, 5th is Willett. So there's so many cars going through I can't keep up. But 10th is Vidrina, then Southgate, Glazebrook, Gamba, De Rosa, Greenwood, Yan, Carr, Gamba, Hunter, Anderson, Lopez, and Cameron Anderson. Completing the rest of the order, and so far they've all avoided contact as Gal tries to make a move on McKenzie, going around into the sharp right-hander there, heading under the other part of the circuit as they're coming around into the hairpin. For the very first time. Is there going to be any contact here? Sometimes there's crashes here, but Motro's in 7th, so he's made a good start as well. Willer in 5th, Volker 6th as well, so that's a good start. But a good start also by Michael Motro, moving up to 7th with Robert Ionescu, who's had a bad start and dropped behind the British driver as they're coming now down towards the double left-hander, heading towards the back straight into the infamous 130R. I think these are the Degner curves, I'm pretty sure. My memories of my track names are not very good at all, I have to say. Ionescu is on the inside of Michael Motro, heading towards 130R. Is he going to make a move in towards 130R? It's side by side, and the answer is no, he does not make a move. Alex Southgate there in 9th with Joseph Willows down in 10th. But at the moment, it is still Waze Kuba who leads on the first lap of the Japanese Grand Prix, and so far it looks like everyone has avoided contact. I believe there's no damage anywhere. Nope, doesn't look like it as they're coming through. So amazingly, all cars have got through without any damage on the first lap. That is quite something. As we're looking at De Rosa trying to make a move on the inside of Glazebrook, coming into the first corner, can't quite do it, and he stays behind him as they're coming through. And actually that corner that I was telling you about, the one before the back straight, is actually the Spoon curve, not the Degner curve. I do apologise. The Degner curve is coming up right about now, which Gal is trying to make a move on the inside of McKenzie. Can he do it? It's still side by side. McKenzie locks up. Has he got the move done? I don't know. Is Mackenzie going to keep the momentum? And the answer is yes. They're coming into the hairpin. And he does just about. Does he wait? Is Gal going to hold it around the outside? No, not quite. Mackenzie just about holds it. And he's now got Will Neller right behind him, which he's got to contend with. So he needs to be careful here, Gal, as they're coming towards the spoon curve for the third time on this race. And so far, we've yet to have any collisions. So they've kept it relatively clean so far. As they're looking through, and there's a spinner, and just as I say that, and it's Michael Mocho, who'd had such a good qualifying, was having and had a decent start. He was battling with Robert Ionescu, and now, fortunately for him, he's going to drop to stone dead last. Pretty gutting there for the 4 senior drivers. So what happened? He was in a battle with Robert Ionescu. Was there any contact between the two? And no, there wasn't. Mocho just went wide onto the AstroTurf, or onto the runoff area. And unfortunately, and I think he actually may have touched the grass, that might have been the problem coming into Spoon Curve. And yes, he did, he touched the grass. That's what unsettled him and spun him wide. So that was a mistake, sadly, of Mocho's own making right there. As we're still looking at the battle for P3 at the moment between Mackenzie, Gal and Nella. Let's look at all the rest of the cars coming through. We're looking at Oliver Glazer and Lemon. The car is spun into the first corner as he's rejoining, and he's made contact with the Toro Rosso, and it's Franco Gamba. How many times has it happened to him again this season? Oh dear me. And Roberto. Oh my word. There's definitely a curse on the Gamba family right now. Because Roberto Gamba, actually, there's his car in the background. You can see he's actually pulling off on the pit straight. But this is what happens. The car went wide coming into the first corner. Then actually did a little spin. And had just about recovered it. But then came right into the path of Franco Gamba there and took him out. Franco Gamba could do nothing about that, sadly, as he was coming through the corner. And you can see he was just rejoining. That was a bit of a dangerous rejoin there from Carr. I imagine he'll probably be under investigation for that, because that was not the safest rejoin right there. As you can see, the incident between the two drivers will be under investigation, so we'll find out soon enough whether there'll be a penalty or not. But so let's see what happened to Roberto Gamba. He also sadly retired from the race, coming onto the pit straight just as he went past the entrance of the pits. And it was a puncture that caused Roberto Gamba's retirement just after the pits as well. That's quite unfortunate there for Roberto Gamba. So sadly, he's going to be out the race, and both Gambas are out the race as he just pulls off just after the finish line. As we're looking at Robert Ionescu on the inside of Florian Volker, who makes a move for P6. Makes it past him, and now, as we're looking at the battle for P3 still going on, Mackenzie currently holding his ground, but he's really struggling right now. And he's now got Nicholas Gal for company, who's trying to get on the inside coming into the 130R. Is he going to make the move stick? And the answer is no, he can't quite do it. Oh wait, has he done it? Oh no, he has done it. He's got through. I thought Mackenzie was gonna hold it around the outside there, but he didn't. So that is a move done for the Hungarian driver. So he's up now into P3, Mackenzie down to P4, but no wonder he's got a very, very heavy fuel load, and so does actually Florian Volker, who's under pressure at the moment from Alex Southgate. They're coming into turn 1, and Alex Southgate's hanging on. He's on the inside here, and there's yellow flags, and oh dear me, Alex Southgate has clearly just overtaken Florian Volker under yellow flags there, because there's Franco Gamba. His car there, and you can see he receives a 5-second time penalty for overtaking under yellow flags. Does Alex Southgate? Not great from him, obviously, from Southgate, who will be retiring at the end of the season. But we'll have to see where he comes at the end of the race to see the position he'll be in. But we're looking at the battle now for P5 as we're looking at Robert Ionescu battling with Will Neller for Williams. It's side by side into 130R. Will Ionescu have this move done? The answer is yes, he does. So he makes the move up into P5. Good move there by the Romanian. And he gets past, and notice they're coming through the chicane onto the back straight. And so you're already getting away in Ionescu, but Nello's also got very heavy fuel load as well. So it looks like quite a few are doing the one stop, I guess. I'd probably say, as we're looking at Mackenzie coming into the S curves, as they're called. There's Roman Quag right now in second place. He's quite a distance away from Kuba in front. He's got a relatively heavy fuel load, but I think he'll be going for the 2-stop strategy by the looks of it, with that amount of fuel that he's got in the car. As he comes through under the track, as he comes through heading towards the hairpin for the 7th time this race. It's 6.5 seconds precisely the gap, so Kuba's got a massive lead, and oh my word, Warner has gone way too quickly going into the Degner curves there, and he has lost a bit of his front wing, and he is now going to have to go into the pits. Oh dear me, that is not good at all. But wow, as we gonna have a look at it again. He was battling with Alex Southgate and just went way too quickly there, and just goes off and loses the front wing there. So not going to have it all to do with Nella if he wants a good result from this race. As here's Ionescu battling with Jay McKenzie for P4. This is McKenzie going to hold on, I should say, but is Ionescu going to make the move? And I think, is he going to do it? And he's done the same thing as Gal, and yep, exactly the same move, and he makes it up into P4. So now Ionescu is going to go after his teammate Miklos Gal in front of him, but Ionescu has got a very light fueler, so that probably explains the reason why he's so quick right now compared to all the rest of them. But we'll see how well the strategy is going to work at the end of the race. But it looks like it's going to be a 3-stop by the looks of it, as Nella holds up Glazebrook and Vidrina. Now Vidrina is going to have a good chance of getting past Glazebrook, who is held up by the Williams driver coming into the pits there. It's side by side between the two. Vidrina going to make the move stick, and no, I think Glazebrook has just about held on to it there, and he keeps 9th position now as he's moved up, with Vidrina down in 10th in the last point spots. Now Rick Yan has come into the pits as well for Sauber, and so is I think De Rossa that came into the pits as well, yeah. And he has to wait, I think, for a car to go past, does he? But let's see what happens. So as we're looking on board with Yan, so hang on a minute. So there's 9.7 seconds left coming into the chicane, and oh dear me, and Yan has just gone piling into the back, used De Rossa as his brake there, and has lost his front wing, and De Rossa's lost his rear wing, but he now goes into the pits, and so does De Rossa. So not good by Rick Yan. Now I don't know if he'll get a penalty for that, but obviously the incident will be under investigation. As we're looking at Robert Ionescu, who's now battling, he's already caught up to his teammate Miklos Gal coming into the 130R, which seems to be right now his best overtaking spot, and he's done it again. He moves up into P3. Good racing by Robert Ionescu. He'll be pitting soon anyway, but he'll need to move up the order as quick as he can if he wants to get a good result coming towards the end of the race, as they're coming onto the front straight for the 10th time of this Grand Prix. As we're looking at Robert Hunter battling with Franco Lopez coming through the Degners. There's nearly contact, but Hunter does just make the move stick into P12, coming through under the track and heading into the hairpin. And now Franco Lopez just about sticking behind him there. Will he try and make a move back? He's actually quite close already, Lopez, so he's not exactly shaking him off too quickly. But you can see Almar Carr is actually going to has received a 10-place grid penalty for the next race in Russia, I believe, for that incident with Franco Gamba. I'm not too surprised about that, to be honest, as we're looking at the battle for P12, which is going to resume once again, as Franco Lopez has kept up with Hunter. Is he going to make a move? Is he going to do, I suppose, the Ionescu into the 130R, getting up into 7th gear, way just over 200 miles an hour. He's on the inside, and surely that's the move done, is it? And yep, he takes the position back from Robert Hunter. So good racing there between these two. Franco Lopez, who started stone dead last, as now we look at David Greenwood, and Rick Yan has received a 15-second time penalty for causing the incident with De Rossa, as his teammate David Greenwood comes into the pits for his first pit stop of the Grand Prix. So quite a light fueler, 22 laps. I mean, he could go to the end, I suppose. He'd do a long stint. I mean, he's going to do a long stint on this one, so no, I think he could go to the end actually, but it depends how much fuel he's willing to still have left before he goes in. But we'll see anyway. He comes out in 18th position. I think that's behind Rick Yan, as we're looking at Will Nella, who's trying to recover positions after the incident at the Degner Curves where he went off himself. He's right now battling with Julius Anderson as he's coming through, but now he's going to be under attack from the Sauber there of Rick Yan if he's not careful, as he's trying desperately to get by. And Anderson's locked up and he's gone wide. He's gone into the gravel, and that is a position moved up for Nella as well as the rest of them. As we're looking at Julius Anderson, who's just trying to rejoin onto the track, and oh no, he's gone into the wall, and that is Julius Anderson's race done and dusted right there. But he's actually going into the pits right now, so we're going to have to hope that no one goes into the pits after him, otherwise they're going to get held up massively right now. As we're looking at his car, which is going at about 30 kilometers an hour, but it's not the limit. He can go faster than that, but of course he's only got 3 wheels on his wagon, so as his car continues to just drift ever so slowly into the pits, and it's still going Still going at 30 kilometers an hour. Is he going? Oh, it'd be interesting. Is he actually going to go into the pits and well, you know, and there actually is a car set to come into the pits. Oh dear. Oh, it's Robert Ionescu who's coming into the pits. Oh dear, that's not good. And the car's still rolling down the pit lane. So Ionescu is going to get held up here. Brazil 2010, anyone? Oh no. And it's going to be deja vu once again. And I'm pretty sure it was with the incident that happened back then. I'm pretty sure it was with the Caterham as well. And Ionescu is going to get held up here. This is going to badly affect his race, as Anderson's car is still rolling through him, and he can't get past him right now. And it's still rolling in front of him. He's dropped a couple positions behind, I think, Oliver Glazebrook in 8th, and now down to 10th behind Vadrina. And eventually he's going to rejoin, but he's going to drop down all the way down to 13th position after that. Oh dear me, Ionescu is going to be absolutely fuming, as Anderson's car is still going down. It's gone through the whole pit lane, and no one's done anything about it there. But, wow, there we go. And that is Julius Anderson's race finally over after a while with that. So, I mean, he was coming around, he wasn't actually going to pit, so he just went wide, locked up, and went into the gravel there. And obviously he must have had some sort of, I guess you could say, mechanical failure. Hence why the car went into the pits, and then eventually, you can see actually, he got just held up and he was just going in as well. So he fortunately caught him at exactly the wrong time. Pretty much, well, I mean, it was, if anything, it was timed perfect by Caterham, the problem that he had there. But anyway, that's not good for Ionescu, who's dropped down a number of positions. So now he's going to have to gain it back. And wow, that's not good for him. As we're looking now at the Toro Rosso of Robert Hunter come into the pits for his first pit stop of the race for Toro Rosso. In he comes. And let's see where he comes out onto the track. So it's a 8.8 second stop, I should say. And let's see, he comes out, I think, in P18, so he comes out far down the order. Here is the Red Bull Ionescu trying to recover positions right now. He's battling with the Force India of Michael Mocho. Can't quite get past coming into the 130Rs. He's going to try it again. Yes, he is. Can he make it through on the inside? No, not quite. Mocho just about holds it off. Will he try and make a move into the chicane? And the answer is no, he doesn't. Can't quite make the move there. But he's going to try and make a move onto the straight. Oh, no, never mind. Mocho has actually gone into the pits. But now he's got Will Neller right behind him, who's now going to make a move on the inside. This technically could be a battle for position, because Neller's obviously trying to recover after his mistake earlier. Can't say collision because it was a mistake. And Neller's now on the inside. Is he going to make the move stick on Ionescu? Ionescu just about holds it round, but no, he has to give it in as he's coming through. Coming through the curves, the S curves, and he moves up a position that's going to dent Ionescu's hopes even more. He's actually going to be pitting very soon anyway, as a matter of fact. So he'll obviously be pitting. Well, he'll be pitting twice more after when he pits again. As he's coming through, he's going to try and make a move back on Will Neller, and can he make it on the inside? Still side by side, a little bit of a lock up there from Neller. Can't quite make it stick, as now they've got Rick Yan, the company, and Ionescu is now on the inside of Neller. Is he going to take the position? Still side by side, and nope, Ionescu has got it. Good racing there between the two, clean and fair. And you can see Neller just went a little bit wide, got a bit of bad momentum out the corner, and that gave Ionescu the chance to get on the inside and manage to just get ahead before the hairpin. And Rick Yan is now right behind the two, see if he can make a move stick on either of those two, but I don't know if he can, but probably just because these two have been battling. But that's good racing there, good move there by Ionescu. And Oliver Glazebrook goes a bit wide, coming into the Degler curves, and goes a little bit wide again, as he's holding up a massive stack of cars. And there's Wade Kuba trying to squeeze his way through it right there, and really struggling. There's Glazebrook. Oh, hang on a minute. Ooh, that was very close, and Glazebrook made 3 mistakes in 3 corners there, and was lucky that he didn't hit the back of Wade Kuba, who now comes in for his first pit stop of the race. So that could have been a bad moment there for Wade Kuba, and also a bad moment for Oliver Glazebrook too. And he comes out of the pits. Where is he going to come out in the order is going to be the next question. And he comes out just behind Roman Quagg in P2. So Quagg obviously will be pitting this lap, actually, as a matter of fact. Miguelas Gal will also be pitting this lap as well for Red Bull. And in he comes. There's Alex Southgate, who I think, is he pitting as well? I'm pretty sure I saw on his dashboard, and yes, it is. He is actually pitting as well on the same lap as Miguelas Gal. So Gal now comes into the pits, and let's see where he comes back out onto the track. There's Alex Southgate, who comes in as well. He's had a good race so far, Southgate. He's shown some good pace, it seems, as he's about to come back onto the track. And let's see where he comes out. He comes out behind, obviously, Gal. He comes out behind Florian Volker as well. And they come out in clear air as well, in P5 and P6 respectively. There's Joseph Willows just coming onto the front straight. There's Robert Ionescu on the back of veteran Vadrina in the McLaren. He's going to make a move into the first corner. I think he's a little bit too far back to do that. Is he going to make it stick? And the answer is no, he can't. He's too far back. There's a battle between Michael Mocho and Cameron Anderson, with Franco Lopez getting involved as well, coming into the chicane. And they can't quite make any move stick there. As there's Franco Lopez coming through. And now coming on to the front straight. There's a big gaggle of cars here, and I think Ku will be glad he's clear of this. He had to make his way through it, and nearly got hit by Glazebrook in the process. Long gaggle of cars as they're coming into the first corner. Turn 1 and 2. Franco Lopez running in P15 right now. I think he just made a pit stop fairly recently, as Roman Quagg now comes in for his first pit stop for Williams, and he'll be pitting once more before the end as well. 20 laps, so around about the lap 40 mark he'll be coming in. And let's see where he comes back out onto the track there. So Wadecuber currently retakes the lead of the Grand Prix, and Roman Quagg will come out in P2. So normal service resumed, but Kuba seems to have an even bigger gap over Quagg than before. But Kuba will be pitting earlier than Quagg, but we'll see how that works out anyway. As we're still looking at this big gaggle of cars, starting with Cameron Anderson, with Franco Lopez behind him, Robert Hunter, Michael Mocho, and there's one other car behind. I think it's Julius Anderson, I'm pretty sure, is in the other Caterham. As Lopez is going to try and make a move on the inside, coming into the corner. There was very close there, nearly contact. Fortunately, there wasn't. So now coming on to the back straight. And no, it's not the other Caterham. It is, I think that is Rick Yan, I'm pretty sure. As now Lopez is on the inside, down the back straight, heading towards 130R. He's going to make it stick, and I think, has he done it? And yes, he has. And he makes the move up, and I think Michael Mocho has made it past Robert Hunter as well. And yes, he has. And he makes the move into 16th place, with Robert Hunter now under pressure from Rick Yan behind him, as Waze Cooper actually is about to come and try and lap these guys again. And only one of them I think I saw was pitting. So it's not going. It's going to be interesting for Cooper trying to get through this lot again. But right now he's in a comfortable lead, so I don't think he'll mind too much. As Ionescu makes a move on the inside of veteran Vadrina there, as we're looking on board with him making another move, this time on Joseph Willows coming into the 130R. And does he make it stick? Yes, he does. That's about, I think, the fourth move or something that he's done into the 130R so far today. As we're looking at a battle now for P4, this is between Florian Volker and Miguel Escal, with Alex Southgate actually just in the background there, waiting to see if these two trip over each other. Gal can't quite make the move stick coming through there, and now got the chance coming into the chicane. Will he try and make a move there? Goes a little bit wide, Volker, but he keeps the position. Will Gal now try and make a move coming into the first corner? He's now got Alex Southgate for company right behind him, so he needs to be careful here. Alex Southgate doesn't try anything. He's actually quite close to Gal. He's got the slipstream. Will he try and make a move into the first corner? He's actually going to go for it, Southgate. He's on the inside. Is he going to make the move stick? And yes, he does. Great move there by Alex Southgate, who took advantage of these two battling and made the move stick into the first corner. What a move there. As we're looking at Robert Ionescu coming down the front straight right now. He's going to be pitting in a few laps' time. As we're looking at Jamie McKenzie right now in third. As we're looking at the battle still going on. This is now between Michael Mocho and Cameron Anderson coming in towards the 130R. And will Mocho make it stick? And the answer is yes, he does. And now Robert Hunter is going to be right behind. And there's Waze Cooper coming right round the outside of Robert Hunter, and Rick Gannon made it stick. That was very scary there, as Cooper trying to make it through all this traffic. So he came through there, so he held up a little bit by Hunter. But he went round the outside of Hunter, and then he went round the outside of Cameron Anderson coming into the chicane there. That could have gone a whole lot worse. Well, he tried to anyway. He didn't actually make the move stick there, as we're looking at Robert Ionescu, who will be pitting once again for Red Bull, as he's coming now down towards the 130 There's a yellow flag, and it's Waze Cooper. Waze Cooper, the race leader, is out, and what looked like a certain win for the Congolese driver is going to turn into absolutely nothing, and that pretty much dents his title hopes yet again. And it's getting slimmer and slimmer by the minutes, and it was a transmission failure that has caused his retirement. He was so far clear of the of Roman Quark ahead of him in second place, and oh my goodness me, it has happened again, and Mercedes' reliability has once again let them down. That is not what they needed at all, as Ionescu now comes into the pits and comes out of the pits in P10, so just inside of the points, comes up behind Veteran Vedrina again, but he's going to have some clear air, and I'll hope the guys in front of him have to pit soon. But Ionescu has shown good pace, but unfortunately that incident with Julius Anderson has really dented, put a damper, you could say, on his race. So now Roman Quark is actually the leader of this race, and this is good news for him, because that means with Mackenzie behind him, and behind him by quite a way I think as well, it gives him a chance to close up on Mackenzie in the championship. And I don't think anyone really expected him to be the one mainly challenging Mackenzie for the championship, considering the pace of the Mercedes this season, but it has mainly been down to Mercedes' reliability that has caused their downfall. When they've been good, they've been good, they've been on fire. And oh no, and now we've got another mechanical failure, another transmission problem, and it's Nicolas Gal this time. And coming into the 130R, he is out of the race as Volker goes past him. That's pretty gutting luck for Gal, who sadly hasn't had a particularly great season. And that is his race over on lap 27. We're just about, I think, actually at the halfway mark of this race. And wow, that's not good for him at all. And yet, transmission failure coming down the straight, heading across over the other side of the track, heading towards the 130R, and then he pulls off the car coming just out of the 130R, and that is his race done and dusted. So there we go. That is his race over, gutted for him there. As we're looking at Jay Mackenzie right now running in second place. As they're coming into the hairpin, as we're looking at Robert Hunter, and he is going to transmit. I mean, is Dark Mini around this race? Because that is the third transmission failure this race, and we had a huge amount of transmission problems back in Singapore, and it seems to have travelled with them across Asia to Japan, and it has happened again. And for Robert Hunter, unfortunately, his race is over. You can see the problem coming up on the top of your screen, the little red dot, and that is his race done on lap 27 of the race. So actually at the same corner as Nicolas Gal as well. So there we go. That isn't good at all. As we're looking at Rick Yan heading towards the first corner, coming round. He's going a bit wide. Oh, he's going to go on the Astro. Is he going to spin it? And no, he doesn't. He actually. Oh no, but he loses his front wing though. So he's going to have to pit again. So any slim chance he had of any points have sadly now gone out the window. As we're looking at Robert Ionescu on the inside of the McLaren, and he makes it stick. And oh no, he doesn't. Or does he? Nope, yes he does. Vedrina tried to hang it around the outside there, and he almost did it, but sadly not quite enough. So I mean, he was on the inside here, Ionescu just about made it stick. We thought that was it, but then Vedrina suddenly came launching it around the outside, and he so nearly did it, but he just ran out of road. Couldn't quite get the grip he needed off the line. And speaking of Vedrina, he now comes in for a stop on lap 29 of the race. And let's see where he comes back out onto the track. He's looking at David Greenwood coming into the pits, I should say, as we're looking at a battle between Michael Mocho and Lopez, which Mocho makes move past Franco Lopez into the 9th position as David Greenwood was into the pits. He's got 18 laps of fuel, so that's actually not enough to go to the end. I thought they'd put enough fuel for him to go to the end, and so Southgate now makes the move. I think he just made the move past Mackenzie. I think he may have done, and that is actually a legitimate move for position there. So, wow, that is. Although actually, to be fair, Mackenzie hasn't actually pitted yet, and now in fact he does. And wow, so that could be interesting. Southgate's had a very, very good race indeed. So there we go. Wow. This is going to be interesting. But I think Southgate is going to have to pit once again before the end of the race. Mackenzie doesn't, so Mackenzie will be going to the end, but Southgate's pace is quite good right now, so it'll be interesting to see. I have to look at Southgate, so there could be a battle for P2 here between Southgate and Mackenzie. So it's been a great race by Southgate so far, as we're looking at Roman Quark, who's right now in a comfortably 31.5 seconds, blimey. So he's certainly going to come out in the lead at this point when he pits in a few laps' time. As we're looking at the battle behind him of the cars he's just lapped, Michael Mocho and Franco Lopez, who are still going at each other, and it's still side by side between the two as Lopez made the move stick coming into the chicane, And the answer is yes, he has. He makes the move into, well, I should say back into 9th place, coming out of the chicane. And now Joseph Willows, I should say, I was about to say from Volker there. Joseph Willows comes in for his, I think, first and only stop. And he now comes out of the pits. Not been the greatest race for the Ferrari driver, but he comes out and back onto the track. Where's he going to come out in? He comes up behind Vedrina, but he's going to come out ahead of De Rosa in 12th place. So he comes out just outside of the points. We're looking at Florian Volker right now in P3. As we're looking at Mackenzie in P4, coming through the left-hander. And Volker actually is going to be pitting in probably next lap, I guess. I'd say he's going to pit, I would imagine, as we're looking at Willows right now running in 11th, just behind, just outside of the points. Looking at Southgate running in 2nd right now, so there we go. So Southgate, I think, will be pitting once again before the end of the race. So, and yes, he will. As you can see, just 9 laps of fuel, but it'll be slightly less than that, so he can actually get in. So he'll be pitting probably around about lap 40, I'd say. So I think even if Mackenzie does come out ahead of him, it will be on much fresher tyres. So we're looking at a battle between Robin Escu and Will Neller getting very close coming into the chicane there, and there was nearly a collision there. They fortunately just about got away with it, as we're now coming onto the back straight. And now we're looking at Ian Escu coming down. There's a yellow flag out somewhere. What has happened? And it's Jay Mackenzie who spun coming into the first corner, and well, I think that may have just handed the initiative there for Southgate to get his 2nd place. And I mean, he doesn't have to pit again, Mackenzie, but he has cost himself some valuable time. Did he actually spin the car? And he did. He got it back onto the track, and then he messed it up on his own. Oh dear me! And there we go. That is his. Well, that is certainly get a podium, but I think that might be his chance of getting P2 now out of the window, because Southgate's still got a few laps to go to pit, and his pace has been, I have to say, quite good today. It's been quite good. I think there's no other way of putting it, to be honest. It's been very, very solid, that is for sure. As Volker now comes into the pits for the final time, and comes out in a comfortable P6. But I think Inesco ahead of him is going to have to pit as well, as the Williams of Quag does make his final stop and comes out in the lead of the Japanese Grand Prix. Not really a surprise there, as we look at Alex Southgate coming in for his final stop of the race. So I believe he should come out ahead of Jamie Mackenzie, but even if he doesn't, he's for sure going to be the favourite, because he can have so much more fresher tyres. So the question is, where is Mackenzie? Actually, there he is. And Southgate does indeed come out ahead of Mackenzie, who's just coming across the line there. So Southgate is in a legitimate P2, and I don't know if Mackenzie is going to be able to answer him, but you never know. As we're looking at David Greenwood battling for 9th place with Vedra Vedrina and Joseph Willows right behind. He's on the inside, he makes it past Vedrina, and so does Willows into 10th position. So Vedrina drops down a couple of places there. Fortunately got hung out to dry there, and not having a good race compared to his teammate right now. And Quagga's got a 42-second lead. Wow, over Southgate in 2nd, as Ian Escu is Robbie Escu on the graphic is coming in for his final stop of the race. There we go. He's dropped down to P6. He now comes out in P6. So Quag is going to come out behind him, but I imagine Ian Escu probably will be able to get away from him, as Quag just coming around onto the straight now. And Michael Mocho right now running in 8th, but he's going to have to pit. Oliver Glazebrook is going to have to pit as well. He's running in P7. Actually, I didn't realise he was actually running that high. So he's had an alright race, Glazebrook, to be fair, as he now comes into the pits. And let's see where he comes back out the track. Michael Mortrow will be pitting as well, so might be a nice battle brewing up at the end of the race as Glazebrook comes into the pits. And I think actually Michael Mortrow is actually going to come into the pits as well. I think that was the Force India crew that have come in for him, and it is indeed. So Michael Mortrow pits, so he's now going to have to overtake Glazebrook out on track, as Glazebrook comes out at 6.8 seconds stop. He comes out behind De Rosa. Michael Mocho obviously behind him, so he comes out in clear air. More importantly, I think Mocho came out behind another car, I'm pretty sure. I was looking at a battle between for the last end of the points. We're looking on board with this is, I think, it's De Rosa, sorry, right behind the two of Franco Lopez and Cameron Anderson, who actually doesn't have to pit before the end. So this is a legit battle for points. So Franco Lopez now up into 9th. Now Kirosima De Rosa, he's going to try and make a move for 10th, but now they've got Alex Southgate who's trying to lap all these guys coming through, as Glazebrook's got the blue flag on his screen, so surely he's going to have to move out the way of Southgate coming into the first corner, but I don't know if he's close enough, Southgate, so he doesn't actually make it stick through there. But will he wait, will he try and get through before the S-curves or not? I'm not sure. I don't think he will, but De Rossa is right behind Anderson. This is this is good news for Franco Lopez, who right now is just getting away. It's certainly helping him right now. As we're looking at De Rossa right behind Cameron Anderson. Will he try and make a move as now Southgate finally gets past Oliver Glazebrook? But now he's going to have to deal with these two battling as De Rossa's now on the inside. Anderson, who goes wide onto the gravel. And he's lost it now. He locks up and almost loses the place to Oliver Glazebrook, who's right behind. But Anderson is really, Cameron Anderson that is really struggling right now. As now Alex Southgate set to lap the Lotus of De Rossa in front of him. But that's still given a great advantage to Franco Lopez ahead of him, as we have only just 5 laps to go. As now Glazebrook is right behind Anderson, who is really struggling for grip on those tyres. And Glazebrook is on the inside. He's going to make it stick. And woo, there was so nearly contact there. There was so nearly contact. They are lucky they got away with that. As now Glazebrook is right behind Anderson, is now set to go past him, coming on to the back straight, heading towards the 130R. Is Glazebrook going to have it done before the 130R? And the answer is, I think he will. And yes, he does. Makes it up into P11. And now he's going to go after the battle ahead between, well, he's going to go after, I should say, De Rossa, because I don't know if Franco Lopez is going to be in the battle now, as he's got away. I don't think he'll be able to catch up to Pedrino, I'm not sure. As now Greenwood trying to get past Cameron Anderson, who really is dropping like a stone. He's dropped all the way down to 13th as Mocho's actually got past him. And now this is actually a battle for P8, so Lopez has actually caught up to Pedrino, as Franco Lopez is going to make a move on Pedrino before the chicane, and yes, he does. Great move by the Argentinian driver there. He makes the move into P8, and now Glazebrook is right behind De Rossa in the battle for the last point spot right now. As now we're now on to the final lap of the race, and here is your race leader, Romain Quag. And wow, what a race he's had. Took the lead since, well, after Waze Kuba retired, and no one really looked like coming close to attacking Kuba. Kuba looked like he'd had a, well, it looked like he had the victory pretty comfortably in the bag, but it seemed he didn't. Well, due to the mechanical failure, I should say, it meant that he has not got the win at all. And unfortunately for him, the mechanical failures are letting him down more than Mackenzie, who, well, he's not going to extend his championship lead, but he's going to extend the gap over the rest of the order. But Romain Quag crucially closed the gap to Mackenzie heading into the next race. As you can see, Quag has got a nearly 50-second lead over Alex Southgate behind in second place. That is quite something, I have to say. With Mackenzie third, Volker is actually in fourth right now, and Nella's in fifth. As you can see, Oliver Glazebrook actually has moved up into 10th place, and De Rossa's up to 9th. So Glazebrook has, though, crucially moved up into the last points position in 10th. He's got past veteran Pedrino, who's dropped down quite rapidly as well at the end of the race. But that doesn't matter right now, as we're looking at Romain Quag coming around the chicane. 53 laps have been passed, and Romain Quag, he's had a good race, took advantage of Kuba retiring due to mechanical problems, and Romain Quag comes down the front straight and wins the Japanese Grand Prix to reduce the gap at the top of the championship table. Congratulations to him, as he is Alex Southgate, who is only just coming around the hairpin right now, and he's heading towards Spoon Curve for the final time. It's been a great race by Southgate as well, I have to say. Showing great pace all throughout the race, and actually overtook Mackenzie legitimately on track. And it also helped the fact that also he had that spin Mackenzie, which pretty much then handed P2 to Southgate. So it's been a great race by the British driver. Obviously, could this be his last podium? Who knows? We've still got a few races to go, but he'll certainly remember this one in his last season, as he's now coming through the chicane for the final time, and he's set to take P2. A great race for McLaren for Alex Southgate. He comes now down the front straight, and he comes across the line to take P2, so well done to him. And there we go. So kind of looking through the rest of the order, 7th place will be Joseph Willer's. Not a greatest race, to be honest, but still more points for him, I guess. Franco Lopez, a very good race from him, last 8th. He'll be very happy with that indeed. Takes 8th place. De Rossa will come across the line in 9th. Glazebrook takes the last point spot in 10th. Mocho just misses out in 11th. 12th is Virginia. So actually Mocho got past Virginia on the last lap as well. Rick Yan in 14th. I don't know if he might drop position due to that penalty he got. Volker comes home in a very impressive 4th. Inescu in 5th. Anderson in 15th. Wilnella in 6th. And there we go. That is the race over. So there we have it. That's been the Japanese Grand Prix. So let's now take a look at the full race results, the drivers and the constructors' standings. So here are the full race results. So Romain Quag won with Alex Southgate in 2nd, Jay Mackenzie 3rd, Florian Volker 4th, Robbie Inescu 5th, Warner 6th, Joseph Wood 7th, Franco Lopez 8th, De Rossa 9th, and Oliver Glazer 10th, completing the points, with Michael Mocho in 11th, with the fastest lap actually still being set by Wade Kuba even before he retired. Obviously, Southgate still had that 5-second penalty, but didn't affect him. 12th was Veteran Madrina, 13th David Greenwood. Cameron Anderson moves up to 14th after Rick Yan's penalty, who drops down to last position in 15th, with Robert Hunter, Miguel Ascal, Wade Kuba, Julius Anderson, Franco Gamba, Almar Carr, and Roberto Gamba, the drivers who did not finish this race. So now we're going to take a look at the driver standings. So Jamie McKenzie still leads with 217 points. Roman Quagg rapidly closing the gap though, with Woolnella in 3rd. Robbie Inescu moves up actually into 4th place ahead of Wade Kuba, who's just not had very much luck this year at all, to be honest. Joseph Willis in 6th. Florian Volker closes up on him in 7th. Miguel Ascal 8th. Benson Regina 9th. Amakar 10th. Alex Southgate moves up to 11th position. With that podium, Rufy Fark down to 12th, Julius Hansen 13th, Rick Yan 14th, Oliver Glazer 15th, Franco Lopez 16th, Roberto Gamba, Robert Hunter, David Greenwood, Kirosa De Rossa, Michael Mocho, Cameron Anderson, and in last place, sadly, is Franco Gamba for Toro Rosso. 23 drivers who competed this season, so there we go. As we're now going to move on to the constructors' standings, and Mercedes lead is just only 20 points to Williams, so that's got incredibly close. 3rd is Red Bull and 4th is Ferrari, so 1 point between them as well. So that's good constructors battles right at the top, with McLaren moving ahead of Force India into 5th, Force India 6th, Sauber 7th, Marussia 8th, Caterham in 9th, Lotus in 10th, and Toro Rosso in 11th place. So there we go. That has been the Japanese Grand Prix, a fairly good race, I think I'd say. Thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget to, as usual, for your driver of the day, give the race a rating out of 10. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you for the next round for the first ever Russian Grand Prix at the Sochi Street Circuit. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you there.